So basically, in this tabular column, if you notice it, some they have noticed the positive, you can notice it. So positive ions are there. And these positive ions, we used to call it as something. Anybody can tell what is that call it as? The positive ions we used to call something. All of you, which we used to say anion, sorry, cations. And negative ions we used to call it as a what? All of you, anions. Understand, Ra? So whatever it is, the positive ion, which we used to call it as a cation, and negative ion, which we used to call it as a anion. So we all knows that, as I taught you in yesterday's class, cations will formed by donating electrons or receiving electrons. Anybody? Cations will formed by donating electron or receiving electron. Everybody. Donating electrons means or loss of electrons. So when electrons will loss, then the atom will turn it into ion. Atom will turn up into ions. That ions is called it as a cation. I hope everybody can speak. I know that. Next, anions. What is the anions, everybody? What we studied about the anions? Anyone? Anions. Anions means what we studied, guys. Anions will formed by. Anions will formed by how? Anyone?
Gain of electrons.
Yes, anions will formed by gain of electrons, or we can say accepting electrons. So accepting electrons, the atoms will turn up into what? Everybody. Atoms will turn up into ions. That ion only, what is the ion? We used to call it as anion. Am I right, everybody? So by gain of electrons, anions will form. By loss of electrons, cations will form. This is the information which we learned in the yesterday's class. Anybody having any doubt, you can ask me. Are you clear, everybody? I'm asking you only, guys. What is this senseless?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now, today's class we are going to see how you are saying somebody is having, you can notice it. Somewhere you are writing +1, somewhere you are writing -1, somewhere you are writing +2, somewhere you are writing -2, like this all. So then, what is that call it as? So how you are writing -1, +1, +2, -2 like that? That is what we used to call it as a most important concept of chemistry. That is what we used to say valency. So valency is the concept which is behind the formation of ions. That is what +1, -1, +2, -2 and all. That is what is valency. So valency, what does it mean? All of you write the definition. The combining capacity. The combining capacity of an element. A combining capacity of an element. That is based upon the metals and non-metals, Lingesh. That I am saying you. Listen. Okay, Lingesh? Clear?
Okay.
Yeah, the combining capacity of an element. What does it mean, all of you? The number of electrons. The number of electrons donated, accepted, or shared, anything, shared during chemical combination. During chemical combination, okay, is called valency. Is it okay, everybody? So how much I can donate, how much I can receive, or how much I can share is my valency. So whatever the electrons I can donate or I can share, understanding, or I can accept during the chemical reaction, that is what we used to call it as a valency. I hope you all understand, everybody. Yes, please. All of you? Clear? So now, I will teach you now itself that I told you some are the gases are inert gases or which are unstable gases. Anybody can tell? What is the gases? What is the gases?
Helium.
Helium, neon,
Argon.
argon, krypton, xenon, and radon. So these are the gases which are actually stable in nature. So, or we can say, we used to call it as a, what we used to call them, all of you? Noble gases. What are the gases we used to call? Noble gases. So if you notice it here, so this is what is our periodic table. You can see helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, and radon. This is what 18th group. So these are basically stable gases or unreactive gases, as I told you. Am I right, guys? All of you? Please respond. Everybody. Nobody?
Yes, sir.
Now, in this, I will say one point. Sir, why, sir, these are stable? Keep it in mind. I'm saying you now the secret. Except helium. Helium alone, just you remember. Why, sir, helium alone? I will teach you when we are studying the next concepts or next chapter, definitely will study. So, other than helium, remaining neon, argon, krypton, xenon, and radon. Every element in this one, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. So every element, all of you remember, if this is the structure of the atom, basically electrons are revolving around the nucleus. Electrons are revolving around the what? Everybody? Nucleus. So protons and neutrons are present at the nucleus. Okay. And electrons are revolving around the what? Everybody. Electrons are revolving around the nucleus. In a particular shell, that is what we used to call it as a orbits. What is to call everybody? What is it called it as? Orbits. Do you understand, Amma? Now, remember, whatever the shell is present at the last shell, which we used to call it as a valency cell. Not valency cell, which we used to call it as a valence cell. What is to call? Speak, guys. Valence cell. Do you understand, Ra? Lingesh, Kishore, Mr. Nivedan? So,
Yes.
don't think here third cell is there. It may be two cells. One single cell present. Or maybe two cells are present. Or maybe three cells are present. Or maybe four cells are present. Doesn't matter. Last shell, which we used to call it as a what? What is the cell we used to call? Everybody? Last shell, whatever the number, n is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Last shell, what we used to call? Everyone? Which we used to call it as a valence cell. Valence cell. Keep it in mind. Any atom or any element in the given entire periodic table, if 8 electrons are there in valence cell, that element is stable element. That will become what, everybody? Stable in nature or unreactive in nature. Linga, Nivedan, do you guys my point, everybody? That will become unreactive or noble in nature. So, what is the observation? Neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. Next chapter, structure of elements will study. So by the time we'll understand structure of atom. Every these elements, every valence cell, how many electrons are there? Everybody. How many electrons are there? Please respond, Ra. 8 electrons are there. That is why they become stable. But remaining elements, they do not have 8 electrons. That is why they are unstable. So that is why they will involve in the chemical reaction. Somehow by donating or by accepting or by sharing, they will try to get how many electrons, everybody? Try to get 8 electrons and they become stable in nature. I hope you all understand. If anybody having any doubt, you can ask me. So what I said, noble gases, why they are stable? Except helium. Helium alone different. I will say you that. Except helium, remaining all the noble gases, how many electrons are there in their outermost shell or valence shell? How many electrons, everybody? Yes, please. 8 electrons. So that is why they are stable in nature. So like this, every element is trying to get the stability by 3 different ways. Anybody can tell what is the 3 different ways? All of you? What is the 3 different ways? Make it quick.
Sharing, donating,
Sharing of
accepting.
electrons or donating and accepting electrons. That is what it is. So that is only call it as a valency. How many I can donate or how many I can accept or how many I can share. So nobody can, remember always, that will be varies, Abhirami. In valency cell, it will be varies for different elements. Clear, everybody? All of you understand, Ra? So now, remember, valence cell, basically number of electrons will be there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So some elements is having 1 is the valence electron, 2 is the valence electron, 3 is the valence electron, 4 is the valence electron, 5 is the valence electron, 6 and 7 and 8, as I said. Now, sir, what do you mean by valency? What do you mean by valency? That is only very important. Valency means how many can donate or how many can accept. So remember, if anybody is having 1 electron in valence cell, how many electrons? You are involved in the class, it is very nice. How many electrons? 1 electron. Then it can donate also 1 electron. So valency is also 1. 2 electrons are there, it can donate 2 electrons. 3 electrons are there, it can donate 3 electrons. Understanding? So basically these are called it as a metals. Keep it in mind. So that is why metals always will form cations, anions, everybody. They will form cations. But there is an exemption, Amma. Some gases is exemption, like hydrogen. Hydrogen, even though it is a non-metal, it will form the positive ion, most of the cases. So that is why, of course, hydrogen also we can say cation, it will form. But as well as anion also it will form. So cations. Next, if 4 electrons is there, valency also 4, but it cannot be donate 4, it cannot receive the 4. 4 is there means only one option. What is that, everybody? All of you, please respond. Sharing of electrons. 4 valency means what is electrons, everybody? Sharing of electrons. No donating, no receiving. 4 electrons are there in the valence cell. It is sharing the 4 electrons. Next, valence cell having 5 electrons. Then 8 means it will become what, everybody? 8 means it will become what? Please respond. I already told you. 8 means it will become what? 8 means it will become what, Ra? Nonsense people you are. If 8 electrons is there, what it will become? It will become stable in nature. Means, is it will take any electron? Is it will take any electron?
No, sir.
No. Is it will donate any electron?
No.
No. Then the valence is 0. It will never take any 1 electron. It will never give also 1 electron. So it is become stable, 0. Now 7 electrons is there. To become stable, how many electrons we need to add? To become stable,
1 electron.
8 minus 7, 1 electron is needed. 6 means 8 minus 6, how many electrons is needed? 2. 5 means 8 minus 5, how many? 3. So it is needed. They will receive. That is why they are call it as a, what we used to call? We used to call it as
Non-metals.
non-metals. And middle some metalloids, basically we say metalloids are, of course, some non-metals also will be there. Non-metals, some non-metals also will be there, whose valence cell 4 electrons. Electrons in valence cell. Valence electrons is 4 sharing of electrons. 1, 2, 3 donating. Next 5, 6, 7 it is receiving. 8 means no donating, no receiving. 8 means what is that, everybody? 8 means it will become stable in nature. That is what you have to remember. Anybody having any doubt, you can ask me. Are you clear, everybody? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So now, in our book, if you notice it, the tabular column they have given, all of you observe. Some atoms, you can notice, sorry. If you have noticed it here, can you able to see my screen now? Check it, everybody. All of you? Yes.
Yes.
Note it, everyone. Valence of ions. That is what? The charge present. Sir, what is valency now? You all learned what is valency. Anybody? Combining capacity. How much it can donate, or how much it can receive, or how much it can share. That is what valency. Am I right, guys? Please
Yes, sir.
respond. Now, same way, valency of ions. Sir, what do you mean by valency of ions? Write it. The charge present on an ion is known as the valency of that ion. Clear? Valency of ions. Valency of ions means, what does it mean, everybody? Valency of ions means the charge present on an ion is known as the valency of that ion. Do you understand, everyone? All of you? Mr. Lingesh? Yes? Please
Yes,
respond, everybody. Now, you are all seeing that. Plus indicate what? +1. Do you understand, everybody? Plus indicating just is a +1. Here also +1. Here minus is there, -1. So what do you mean by +1? Anybody? 1 electron donating or 1 electron accepting? Everybody. Yes, please. 1 electron. Plus means donate. Minus means receive. Purima. Ellame. Solunga thambi ellame. Please respond. So that is what it is. Okay. Now, based upon the number, we will say these ions are classified into 3 different types. One is monovalent ions, means they're having a valency of either +1. Remember, simply they will say plus or +1 or -1. Okay, -1, or we can say minus symbol. -1 or minus. This is called it as a monovalent ions. What is to call? What is to call, everybody? Monovalent ion. So in the given table, identify the monovalent ions fastly. Sodium, what ion? Sodium, what ion? Mono.
Mono.
Potassium, mono. Silver, mono. Iodine, mono. Hydrogen, mono. Hydride. See, hydrogen can donate also, can receive also. That is what special. Always there will be exemption. That you have to consider it. Do you understand, guys, what I'm saying? All of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, now hydride. See, donating positive, receiving negative. So, hydride is also mono. Chloride is also mono. Bromide is also mono. Iodide is also what? Everybody? Mono. So, monovalent ions. What is that? Call it as? All of you? Monovalent. Next. Those who are donating 2, okay? 2, we used to call it as Two are accepting two or receiving two. That is what? Positive or negative. Negative. So we used to call it as a what? Anybody? Divalent ions. What is to call all of you?
Divalent.
Divalent ions. So what is the given one? What is the example? Divalent ions. This is what? Di.
Magnesium.
This is di, and di. Yesterday I said metals, those who are donor name will change or not will change. Donor name will never change. But receivers, at the last, it will ends with the 3 suffixes. What is that? I told you yesterday. Suffixes, it will ends with IDE, ATE. What else next? IT. Am I right or wrong? Remember, Dara? Anions.
Yes, sir.
Anions will be changed with ITE, ADE, ATE. Understanding? That is what? So now, that is why, but cations, no change in the name. So these all are things. Next, dioxide. See that oxygen need 2 electrons. So it will turn into oxide. So it is a what? Divalent or monovalent? Divalent. Sulfide, divalent. Next. That's all. Next you can see. Here also there. Divalent over. These many things are divalent you can take. So next, trivalent. What is the trivalent, everybody? Trivalent. How many? Trivalent means you all can see that. How many?
GI.
Yeah, either 3 loss or 3 gain. Purima. 3 loss or 3 gain. That is what we used to say trivalent. So trivalent, what is the example? Positive. Positive examples pakranga. Iron, trivalent. Iron, trivalent. Nitride, trivalent. Why nitride here? It is a cation or anion? Cation or anion? What? Anion. That is why it is ide. Purima, Lingesh, Kishore, Nivedan, Agalya.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Next, one more is there. Can you check it? What is that? 3. 3 if you want it. There is no one. Only single one is there. If you want, you can write it. Phosphide. Phosphide. P3 minus. Phosphide. This is also tri. Phosphide. Okay, wa? All of you? But this aluminum is a what? Cation or anion? Aluminium. Aluminium.
Cation.
Iron is also cation. But if you notice it, phosphide and nitride, they are what? Anions or cations?
Anion.
Anions. Okay. Next. Last one. So, valency, monovalent, divalent, and trivalent. More than this, is it possible? Tetravalent, is it possible? Yes. Tetravalent. Yes or no? Tetravalent. Yes, it is possible. But tetravalent means no positive, no negative. What is that? Tetravalent means 4. 4 means what, guys? Sharing of electrons. Okay? Sharing of electrons. If you want to draw carbon, carbon you can see. Carbon valency is 4. So that it is neither positive nor negative. So it is what, everybody? Sharing. What is that? Sharing of electrons. Okay, wa? Understand? Abhrami, Hasini, Mr. Sanjay, Shyam, any doubt you can ask me. Mr. Gokul Raja, class is by 6 o'clock, not 6:50. Okay, next. In our book, there is another thing. Sir, in chemical equation, it is necessary to mention the element valency 100%, Lingesh. If you want to study more in detail, you have to mention it. But basically, while you are writing a chemical equation, we won't represent that. But 10th class, there will be a question. There will be a chapter. In that particular chapter, we will write it in the form of valencies itself compound. Understand, Lingesh? Next.
Yes, sir.
Last type of ions. Polyatomic ions. Most important one. So what do you mean by polyatomic ions? Definition, you write it. Polyatomic ions. Right. See, till now, if you see monoatomic, diatomic, triatomic, or tetraatomic, Only single type of atoms or different type of atoms are together? Everybody. Single or different? Single type of atoms. Am I right or wrong? Please respond, Ra. All of you? Yes. So now, but
Yes,
here
sir.
if you see, ammonium, nitrogen is there, hydrogen is there. Hydroxide, oxygen is there, hydrogen is there. Nitrate, nitrogen is there, oxygen is there. That is what we used to call it as a polyatomic ions. Write it. Polyatomic ions definition is a group of atoms. A group of atoms carrying some charge is known as polyatomic ion or polyatomic radical. So ions also we can call it as a what, everybody? Radical. Okay, polyatomic ion or polyatomic radical. So in this also positive, negative will be there. You can check it. Positive polyatomic ion. The one and only positive polyatomic ion. Anybody can tell? What is the one and only positive polyatomic ion? You can see in the book itself. One and only positive polyatomic ion is called it as a what? Everybody. Yes.
Ammonium.
Ammonium. Understanding? And remaining all, you can see negative polyatomic ions only. Hydroxide, OH minus. What is the overall charge? What is the overall charge? Minus. Minus indicate what? -1. Purima. So means it will receive how many electrons? Receive or donate? Minus means. Receive or donate? Minus means. Everybody.
Receive.
That is what?
Receive.
Nitrate means how many receives? -1. Hydrogen carbonate, this together, HCO3 minus. Carbonate, 8, CO3 2 minus. Sulfite, ITE, as I said, these all are called it as a cations or anions. Yesterday I have told you, they are called it as a anions. Ammonium alone we used to call it as a, what we used to call? All of you, cation.
Cation.
Understanding? That is what. Next, sulfate, SO4 2 minus. Don't get confused. Sulfite, ITE, SO3 2 minus. Sulfate, SO4 2 minus. Phosphate, ATE, PO4 3 minus. Do you understand, everybody? All of you clear? Yes, please. Hello. Do you understand or not?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes. Now,
Yes, sir.
from this, types of valencies. What are the types of valencies I told you just now? Monovalent ions, divalent ions.
Trivalent ions, trivalent ions, and polyatomic ions.
Yes, yes. Remember, ionic compounds will form by mono, divalent, and trivalent ions. So monovalent, divalent, and trivalent ions participate in the chemical reaction, participate in formation of what compounds? Everybody. Ionic compounds. Please remember that. Any doubt? Anybody can ask me. Clear, everybody? Means in the sense of what? Metal will combine with the what, everybody? Metal combine with the non-metal. Okay? So then what compounds will form, everyone? Metal will combine with a non-metal. What is the compounds will form? Ionic compounds. What is the compounds will form? Ionic.
Ion.
Okay. Now, if, write it, if when non-metals combine together. So non-metal, they will share the electrons or they will donate and receive the electrons. Both are receiving not, both are not donating. So what will happen? Both are, yes, please. Both are what will happen? Sharing. That is what non-metals combined together by sharing of electrons. Sharing of electrons to complete their valence cell. That is what to become stable. So that will leads to always formation of what compounds? Anybody can tell? Non-metal and non-metal. I already taught you many times. What are the compounds we used to say? What are the compounds it will form, guys? Covalent compounds. Understanding? So example, if you have taken carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, nitrogen monoxide, carbon monoxide. These all are by no donating, no receiving. Only by what? Everybody. Only by what? Sharing of electrons. That is what you have to remember. So anybody having any doubt in this, you can ask me. So this is what is about what is valency and how to write the valency. And I said yesterday one important point. After donating electron, the size of the cations will decreases compared to the atoms. And after accepting the electrons, what will happen? The size of the atom will bigger than the size of the, size of the ion will be bigger than the size of the atom. That's what we have been studied yesterday's class. Am I right, guys? All of you? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
So this is what is about today's class. So types of valencies. Now my sincere request to every one of you, those who joined at the first or last, middle, Mari late, Gokul late, many people late today. So you all need to do the one thing is you need to learn this tabular column and you should segregate them according to the valency. What is the valencies types? Everybody? What are the types of valencies? Types of valencies. Yes, please. Types of valencies. Monovalent, divalent, and trivalent. Okay. So, yeah. Any doubt? Anybody can ask me. Clear, Ara? Understand everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Do it. So clear, everybody? Yes. All of you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's a
Yes,
Gokul Hari. You have to watch from the beginning and you have to finish it. Now, the next class you see, if you are all very good in this, then next class, instead of going to the chemical formula, basically we want to start the next, how to write the chemical formula. But as I said, if you want to write the chemical formula, of course, that concept is not needed, but still we can learn the concept. Otherwise, we'll finish tomorrow's class, we'll do how to write a chemical formula of ionic compounds and covalent compounds, both. And then after that, we'll go to the concept which we left it. What is the compound which we left it? Everybody. Measurement of, what is that? Atomic masses. That is the concept which we need to study. So what is atomic mass and what is molecular mass and how to calculate them? That is all we are going to discuss. Okay. So this is what is about today's class. Anybody having any doubt, you can ask me. And then only we will go with the composition of a compound, how it will be present, how much percentage, like that and all, we will calculate it in the coming classes. Then the school syllabus will be over. That's all about your chapter. So that atomic mass is over means over. Then there is a concept which is call it as a over the chapter mole concept. That is the most important concept for your future. Means 11, 12, and all stoichiochemistry, stoichiometry basically will say. That is an extremely important concept, but I don't know why they have been deleted for this year onwards, even from book they deleted. But that is very interesting and very important concept also. Okay. So with this, I'll stop the today's class. So absentees and latecomers, you try to complete it, and then tomorrow we'll continue from here. Tomorrow definitely 6 o'clock, as the school is there. So surely we'll start 6:65 like that maximum. Okay, guys. Thank you, everybody. We'll meet in tomorrow's class.